Hello and welcome to my channel, Darren's Villaging and More presents Lemax Holly Hat Snowman Reimagined. Let's take a quick look at our product information. These were introduced in 2022 and at the time of filming have not been retired. Their dimensions are approximately 2.87 inches high by 4.33 inches wide and 1.38 inches deep per the Lemax Collection website. I really like these, however, they have hyper white LEDs, and the Christmas village I'm making this year is called Holiday Hills, and I need to reimagine these with warm white. So come join me as I reimagine these for my Christmas village. Welcome to the bench. Here we have a set of the Lemax Hollyberry Snowmen, and I have them turned on right now so you can see the hyper white that they are. Now, I had previously done a video on Santa's here, and the construction appears to be the same between the two, but I'm going to take a different approach with this one. So I have peeled back the Lemax sticker on the bottom, and the first thing I'm going to do is heat the bottom of this and then heat the figure itself. I want to see if I can get everything to come apart as quickly and easily as possible. Using high heat for about 5 to 10 seconds did not yield the results I was looking for with getting the LED out, so now we're going back to the classic approach of holding down the figure on a candle pillar holder and using high heat to heat around the base where the figure and prism are going to be glued in place. Now, if you're not aware of what the prism is, these figures have a new construction design, where a plastic prism illuminates the inside of the figure for maximum even light distribution. I'm going to go ahead and give it just a moment more of the heat before I try pulling this apart. And there it comes. With the first snowman off, the prism is actually already loose. It's probably due to the previous heating, and that came right off. Now we have our hyper white LED that we need to remove, which comes right out the bottom of the base. I'll repeat this process on the other snowman before moving on to removing the battery box. Well, wouldn't you know, the footage of the Hollyberry Snowman battery pack is somehow missing. I'm not sure what happened there. So I'm going to recycle some footage here from the Lemax Santa's Here segment that I did, because the process is exactly the same. Using a hairdryer on high heat, I'll go around the edges of the battery box to loosen any glue or epoxy that's in place. This only takes a few seconds, to be perfectly honest. You can go up to a minute on this, but if you go longer, it may start to warp the plastic. Using my hook pick tool, I'll just pry in there and you'll feel it start to pop away. At which point, I will be working to get the DC power jack out. Now, Lemax uses a large amount of glue on the bottom of the jack. Using my hook pick tool, I'll work to get that out by either loosening or removing as much glue as I can with my pick tool. Once I've got a fair amount of the glue removed, the DC jack should be free and will pop upward, just like that. Now I can simply remove any wires and the old resistor and discard the battery box. I will not be reusing this. What I will be doing is soldering the leads directly to the DC jack, and then I'll cover everything in heat shrink to protect it in an envelope style. I wire almost everything in parallel, so I'll have the resistor just before the LED on the snowman. With the battery box removed, we can move on to the next step of replacing the LEDs. Before we get started with replacing the LED, let's talk about our replacement LEDs for this project. I'm going to be using a surface mount white LED. As you can see by the picture, they are quite small. They are 3 to 3.2 volt, 20 milliamp, 0.25 watt warm white. So calculating for resistance, 4.5 volt power minus 3 volt LED is 1.5 volts. That divided by 0.02 amps is 75 ohms. I'll be using a 0.25 watt 100 ohm resistor plus or minus 5% for this project. Looking at the original LED, we can see the positive and negative leads are already marked, so I'll be cutting those off of the original LED with an offset on the positive so I can have room for the resistor when I solder it in place. Getting started with this, I'm going to take a piece of heat shrink and cut it into smaller pieces that'll be used to cover the solder points once they're made. And then we're going to go ahead and grab our positive lead and put on our resistor. And with all of my solder connections, I do use flux. This makes the process incredibly easy and quick. The first thing done is to slide a piece of the cut heat shrink down the wire for later use, then to attach the resistor, solder in place, snip off any excess, and then slide the heat shrink back. I'll use a lighter to secure that in place. Now, as for securing the LED to this, I'm going to recommend that you use a helping hand. Soldering surface mount LEDs can be quite difficult. I was able to get one leg of this soldered on the table without using a helping hand, but now the other side being the positive, I will need the assistance of the helping hand to hold the LED in place so it stops moving around on me. I will be making these solder connections live as there is no risk of electrocution. When working with electronics such as this, it's not the voltage that will hurt you, it's the amps, and today we're working in milliamps, so there's no risk of electrocution. Using a small amount of flux, I'll put that onto the lead for the resistor, and then solder this live in place. I'll remove the LED from the helping hand and snip off any of the excess lead from the resistor. I'll repeat this process for the other LED for the other snowman before we move on to reassembling the Holly Hat Snowman. With the LEDs now in place, it is time to reassemble the Holly Hat Snowman. Pulling back the sticker on the base, I'll slide the LED in the same way that it came out of the base. Inside the base is a square channel where the LED is supposed to sit. I should have filmed this with the light off, guys. I do apologize for that, but trust me, it is there. And I'll place the LED in the center of it to the best of my ability. Then I'll simply pull back the sticker and fill the channel with glue, and then use the sticker to push the glue forward so everything sits flush. After this is done, then we'll grab the prism and put a couple of dabs of glue onto the base of the prism and put it into the base. First, I need to remove that old chunk of glue because we want to make sure we don't have any old glue in place to create an offset or improper seating. And now that that is in place, I can simply put a small ring of hot glue on the base of the snowman and slide it over the prism, apply positive pressure, and allow to dry. And then we can move on to our final reveal. Let's take a quick look at the before, and now the after. I'm very happy how these turned out, so let me know in the comments, what did you think of this project? Is this something you would have taken on, or would you have left them alone? I'd love to hear from you. And as always, thank you for watching. If you like this video, like and subscribe for more. Happy holidays, and thanks for watching Lemax Holly Hat Snowman Reimagined.